My name is Leslie Helm. I'm the editor of Seattle Business Magazine. Today we have with us Murray Wright, the CEO of Zones, an Auburn-based provider of information technology solutions. With more than $1 billion in sales and 1,400 employees, it may be one of the biggest companies you've never heard of. That could change with the arrival recently of Murray at the company. So Murray, you grew up in Toronto. Tell me a little bit about your early years.
Well, yes, that's absolutely right, Leslie. So, thank you. I'm Canadian, and I grew up in Toronto. Grew up in the suburbs of Toronto in a middle-class family. My father was an executive in the banking industry and the banking business in Toronto, and my mother worked in the elementary school system as a secretary. And I'd say pretty normal middle-class upbringing.
But you have a pretty intense work ethic. Where did that come from?
Yeah, I think there was, my father was a pretty hard worker, and I think that a lot of those values cascaded down through the kids and in our family, and I've carried those forward into my business career and with my kids as well.
Even though your father was, I guess, the CEO of a bank, you worked some pretty tough jobs in the summers.
I was a money-motivated kid. I don't know how that happened, but I had a paper route at a pretty young age and was delivering morning papers. And then in my high school and college years, when I was back in the Toronto area, I had some tough jobs. Worked in a steel factory. I worked in a meat packing plant, loading beef on trucks, and even did a stint one year in digging graves.
Incredible.
Yeah. Tough work, hard work. You worked all day, and, the financial rewards at that time were pretty good.
So you got a scholarship, I believe, as a hockey player.
That's right. Yeah. So as you grow up in Toronto or in Canada for that matter, as a young kid, there's a lot of influence on hockey, and I was fortunate enough to be a good athlete and had several choices to go and play in the U.S. for U.S. colleges, and selected Clarkson University in upstate New York and Potsdam, New York. They have a great history and tradition in Division I hockey, and it's an excellent school as well. So I had the opportunity to balance both an athletic and scholastic experience there.
So you've worked at a lot of different companies. I noticed Xerox, and you worked at Lenovo, the Chinese company, Sharp, the Japanese company. Now at Zones, tell me a little bit. That's a little different kind of company. Tell me a little bit in layman's terms what Zones does.
Yeah, so great question, Leslie. We are a solutions provider. We're a national solutions provider for technology. So if you're a small company or if you're a big company and you're trying to sort out what technology solutions or product that you need in your organization, you should talk to Zones, because we have the talent, the intellectual capital in our company to help you with complex technology solutions, or if you're doing a product refresh like a desktop or a notebook, we can configure all that, integrate it for you, ship it, package it, send it all over the world, whatever those requests may be. We're prepared and very capable of doing all of that. So
now, as big as you are, I understand you have some pretty aggressive growth plans. Tell me a little bit about where you see the potential for growth.
Yeah, Zones is a very exciting and dynamic company, and our founder and chairman has done an excellent job leading the company to this point. And what we want to do is continue to double the size of the business over the next few years. I think we're on that path. It's a lot about attracting the right talent, making sure we've got a good value proposition to the marketplace. We've made a lot of investments in our company, both in resources, talent, and also in systems and tools for our people. And that's going to continue. I mean, this is an evolutionary process, but we are aggressive. We've got some very aggressive growth goals for the business as well that I'm confident that we're going to be able to realize.
And you see some potential overseas as well?
Absolutely. I mean, that's been one of the initiatives over the last couple of years, is to help support our U.S.-based companies in markets around the world. And we've done that through establishing beachheads in various markets globally. We've also done joint ventures and done some acquisitions of late as well. So, you know, you can look to see zones based here in Auburn, and focused on the U.S. marketplace, but growing our business around the world and supporting our customers that are based here in the U.S.
So when we spoke earlier, you mentioned that one of the key challenges is hiring good people, training them. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, this is a little bit different environment than I've experienced from my most recent experience at Tech Data based in Clearwater. You know, there's a lot of competition for talented people here. And as I mentioned in an earlier conversation, you know, this is the first time in modern history anyway where there's been 4 generations in the workforce at the same time. Boomers, Generation X, Y, and Millennials. And I don't think that we can expect everybody to learn the same way. They're motivated a little bit differently, and we have a responsibility to figure that out. So we're trying to adjust our internal culture to be able to attract talented, smart college graduates to our company and provide them with the career and movement that they expect, while also making sure that we're addressing the career opportunities for our current team.
So what are some of those changes in culture that you're making?
Yeah, I think that people learn a little differently today. And in the past, just before coming out here, I used to spend some time on Saturday mornings with St. Leo University and did presentations and discussions with the MBA class. And it's clear to me that they learn differently than I did. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to make sure that we provide that right culture and environment for them, so it becomes an interesting place to be. Listen, you know, when I look around, I think there's not that many companies that are growing aggressively like Zones with such a cool story, and we just want to make sure we've got the right environment to continue to attract that talent and fuel the growth.
Thanks very much, Murray.